Premier League pick'em time, Chelsea edition, perhaps the most interesting and exciting of all the Premier League picks for Mark Ogden here, because it's looking like a whole new squad. So who's your star man of those players, Mark?
I've gone for Timo Werner because, he's the guy that scores goals, and the goal scorers often are the ones that get fans off the seats, if you ever get fans back in stadiums, that is. Werner's the guy that could score 30 goals this season. If you've got a guy scoring 30 goals, then you've got a chance of winning the league. But, picking Chelsea's most exciting players is not easy because you've got Hakim Ziyech, who's got to come in this season. You've got Kai Havertz. And you've got, even Thiago Silva, at the back. I mean, that for me is a great sign. I think it's like turning the clock back to when they signed Marcel Desailly, Ruud Gullit, a player with great experience, great quality that's going to come in and just make such a difference to the young players. So even though he's in his mid-30s, Thiago Silva could be a real box office signing for Chelsea. But if you're asking who's going to be the most exciting, it's going to be Timo Werner.
Yeah, well, you've gone for Thiago Silva as your surprise package. So it's another new player coming in. And obviously you talk about his influence in the dressing room, but on the pitch, why do you think he's going to be that surprise package?
Well, I think it'll be a surprise package. I think a lot of people expect that his best days are behind him, that he'll arrive from PSG with, question marks over his ability to last out a Premier League season, whether he's quick enough, but he's just a pure class player. He's got everything in his locker, and I've not seen that much evidence yet that he's lost that pace and that ability to perform at the highest level. He will find it difficult to play in England because it's a non-stop calendar from now to the end of the season. There's going to be all sorts of games. There's going to be league games, Champions League games, cup ties. Maybe Frank Lampard will be, smart and take him in and out of games. But I think Thiago Silva will be a great signing for Chelsea, and his experience could make a lot of difference. And it could actually make the difference for Kepa in goal, who, as you saw last season, Kepa wasn't the most reliable and he needed a bit of help. I think having Thiago Silva alongside him will help massively in terms of communication and just organising the defence.
Well, you say it might help Kepa, but you've still chosen him as your biggest letdown.
Yeah, well, he had a terrible season last year and he let in so many goals, and I'm just surprised that he goes into this season with looking like he's going to keep hold of the number one shirt. I know they've signed a keeper from Rennes, but Kepa, if he stays in goal, he doesn't have many chances left. But he came with a big reputation, he came with a big fee. He hasn't lived up to either yet, and I do worry that he will be Chelsea's weak link this season. But Thiago Silva can be a big help to him if he allows him to organise a defence and communicate. But ultimately, Kepa for me isn't tall enough to be a great goalkeeper. He's not imposing enough, doesn't communicate enough, and he makes too many mistakes. So on that basis, he's going to be Chelsea's weak link.
And you've got them finishing third ahead of Manchester United. Why?
Well, I mean, United I thought were quite fortunate to finish ahead of Chelsea last season in third. I think Chelsea had been ahead of them all year long, and it was just a final week of the season when they kind of took Chelsea's place in the top three. Look at what's happened at the two clubs since. Chelsea have spent over £220 million. United have spent less than 50 on Donny van de Beek. So, United have got a bit of closing to do in terms of closing the gap on what Chelsea have done. So Chelsea have moved on. United haven't really. So I've been kind of a little bit pessimistic with third because I still think Chelsea could finish second. And if it all settles down really well, they could even finish higher than that. But third for now, but they could go higher.
Chelsea have moved on, and Mark thinks they could be moving on up in that Premier League table too.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.